YouTube is where you can say something on back for to it. Make sure you like and subscribe as you always watch the full video.
A popular YouTube personality is gunned down while driving through Chicago's Printers Row neighborhood. He's identified as Zack Stoner, known on YouTube as Zack TV1.
History involving a budding YouTube star from Chicago. Zack Stoner featured music and interviews on his shows, many highlighting young Chicago talent, along with an anti-violence message. So it was a shock to his family, friends, and followers when he was gunned down in the South Loop.
Him getting and saw the video and everything else like that. How did you feel?
I felt like it was crazy, and whoever did this was some bitch ass nigga. You know,
I say it every time, bro. More likely, this is either jealousy or envy or over a girl, which probably still was also some jealousy thing. Hey, she cheated on you or she chose up, let her go. But more likely, this is probably jealousy and envy, bro.
he was at my show that night.
Probably more likely.
I had an indie show all Chicago.
On May 29th, 2018, entrepreneur Chicago King Dave was prepping for a major event.
That's crazy. That's my birthday.
At Refuge nightclub in Chicago. The lineup featured numerous local rappers. A showcase of the underground talent Zack TV had spent years documenting. By 8:45 p.m., the list of performers was finalized. But just minutes later, Zack TV called King Dave with a request. He wanted his friend, AMG Fresh, to be added to the lineup. King Dave made an exception, and AMG Fresh was allowed to perform.
So that's always on my mind. Like, damn, if he wasn't there, would he still be alive? And I just had to learn to, you know, it ain't your fault, you know, because I had a different plan for Zack, and it just took me some time after that. Like, I'm still affected by that. Like,
Zack arrived to the club to support and record AMG Fresh.
Oh.
Fresh had brought his girlfriend along. It was her birthday, and the night was supposed to be a celebration. As T Streets and AMG Fresh performed, Zack moved through the crowd, camera in hand.
So he called me and he had somebody he wanted to perform, and I'm like, bring them, you good. Gave them time, they came, showed up, left the show, something happened, and he ended up, you know what I'm saying?
Everything seemed normal until AMG Fresh took the stage. Zack,
yeah, like what? Like this seemed like more like wrong place, wrong time. Like, was this? I gotta hear this.
Overheard a group of men talking about AMG Fresh, pointing him out. One of them said, "Isn't that the dude who beefs with the BDs?" The conversation quickly escalated. Zack realized the men were planning to jump AMG Fresh while he was performing.
He went down there to really, you know what I'm saying, help folks them, you know what I'm saying, to promote what they had going on, and he overheard motherfuckers saying what they was gonna do to him. And he was stopping that shit. But a lot of motherfuckers don't know this. He stopped motherfuckers from getting on the stage and up Fresh performance.
Without hesitation, Zack stepped in. He talked to the group, convincing them to back off, de-escalating a situation AMG Fresh wasn't even aware of. But the energy in the club had
Damn, W friend, but you still gotta leave, bro. You still gotta leave. Because, again, they might have backed down for you, like, all right, bro, you got it, we good. But all it takes is one of them to make a phone call. One of them just don't want to let it go. They say if it's three of them, two of them cool with it, like, all right, bro, you the homie, I see what you on, we good, we gonna get bro a pass. And then one of the other one, like, hell no, bro, he ain't getting no pass. What? Or he made a phone call, hey, such and such is right here, but what's the name don't want us to do nothing, so we gonna, what's up? That's all it takes. Either one high head or one phone call.
changed. The night didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah, I still left.
Zack made the decision to leave early.
Yeah, it's time to
Witnesses later said he looked uneasy as he walked out. After leaving refuge, Zack went to his Jeep, planning to pick up AMG Fresh and get him out of there before anything happened.
I wouldn't even let him perform, bro. We gotta go.
They was about to get on the stage and Zack stopped them like, please don't do this. People don't know this though. Zack left a little early before the show ended, so he can be outside on the front waiting for Fresh. When Fresh came out, he was telling Fresh get his ass in the car, but it was Fresh's girl's birthday.
When Zack found Fresh, he tried to get him inside the car immediately. Zack was visibly nervous, showing Fresh his gun, a silent warning that they were in a bad situation. But Fresh, unaware of what had gone down inside, was relaxed. It was his girlfriend's birthday, and he wasn't in a rush to leave.
He should have told him.
Zack insisted,
He should have told him.
Get in the Jeep. After some hesitation, AMG Fresh finally got in. His girlfriend and T Streets joined them. As soon as AMG Fresh got inside the Jeep, the men from inside the club noticed. They saw the car he got into
and followed him.
They now knew what vehicle to follow. Zack drove 2 blocks away from the club, dropping off AMG Fresh and his girlfriend at their car. Fresh's girl got out and switched to her own vehicle. Zack didn't immediately leave.
He got to the car. They made it to Fresh car and parked right in front of it. You know what I'm saying? And Zack chose to let them sit in the Fresh girl was in the front seat. T Streets and Fresh was in the back seat. And she hopped out the car when they pulled up and got in their car and started it. And Zack chose to tell them the little shit that he was telling them right then and there instead of leaving. Zack TV died saving Fresh, bro.
Okay.
He parked and explained everything that had happened inside the club. He wanted Fresh to understand how close things had come to turning violent. Before Zack could drive away, a dark-colored minivan pulled up beside his Jeep. Gunshots erupted. The bullets ripped through the Jeep's windshield. Either AMG Fresh or T Streets fired back, returning shots. Zack was hit. One bullet struck him in the shoulder. Another hit behind his ear, lodged into his brain.
Damn.
His foot slipped from the pedal. The Jeep lost control, veering off the road and slamming into a pole.
Around 1 in the morning, police say a gunman in another car pulled up alongside Stoner's vehicle near Clark and Polk Streets. Multiple shots were fired.
The Jeep had crashed, but the shooting had stopped. T Streets and AMG Fresh didn't wait to see what would happen next. They jumped out of the wreckage and ran to AMG Fresh's girlfriend's car. She was still parked nearby, and as soon as they got inside, she sped off. Up above, a bystander recorded the scene from a high-rise building.
A witness, several stories up, posted this Twitter video moments after the crash. It appears to show a group of people at the scene getting into another vehicle, then driving off before police arrived.
In the footage.
Damn, you didn't even check to see if he was, to make sure he was gone and call the police. Nothing. He get one. If if nothing happened, he gave you an opportunity, bro. He called. He made a phone call and gave you an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. He got you a performance in probably in front of a lot of people. It just happened that things went bad. And then even with that, he still didn't. He didn't stop your performance. He didn't disturb. Like, he didn't make you like. I think he said he was trying to make him not do it, but he didn't tell him why. So therefore, he still did it. So therefore, he still had a okay performance. He still got you up out of there. He still stopped somebody from doing something to you while you was on the stage, and y'all just left him there.
The Jeep sat motionless, its front smashed against the pole. Zack was still inside, slumped over, alone. At 1:35 a.m., police arrived at the scene. They found Zack in the driver's seat, shot, unresponsive. Underneath his seat, they discovered his .40 caliber pistol. He never had the chance to use it. Zack was rushed to Northwest Memorial Hospital. Doctors fought to save him, but his injuries were too severe. At 4:20 a.m., Zachary Stoner was pronounced deceased.
15 minutes later, chick FaceTime me, showing me. They putting Zack on the stretcher, crying. I'm like, Zack? Literally was like a block and a half away.
Yeah.
I'm standing in
They
the
didn't go
front,
too far.
paying my DJs, like DJ Amaris. Yeah, me and DJ Amaris out there. I'm like, man, you get paid, they give you the money. I gave somebody else the money. He like, yeah, then we boom, 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 boom.
His final night had started with supporting a friend. By the end, he became a target. Had Zack just paid the price for trying to stop a fight before it even started? For a man who spent years documenting Chicago's rap scene, his passing became another tragic headline.
Yep. You asked him to stop. You asked him to whatever he asked him or told them. He got them to give him a pass right there, but they were like, "Nah, we ain't getting no pass." Some people just can't let things go, bro. Some people just can't let things go. And then you gotta think about it. They don't tell him what his friend did. He said this person that's beefing with these people, but what did he actually do? Has he actually done something for y'all not to let it go? Because hey, can't say I understand, but hey, crazy, man. Condolences.
Fine.
From me knowing Zack and from everybody else knowing Zack, I ain't never heard of Zack to do no to nobody. You feel me? So I don't feel like it's no reason in this world you should even want to do to Zack. Like Zack interviewed everybody, every hood. You see what I'm saying? Like he's cool.
They wasn't going, supposedly, they wasn't going for him. They was going for his homie. He just happened to be with him. See? That's why I say, like, for people who don't have street ties, you still gotta move damn near like you do. You gotta watch who you're associating with. Your friend is super, super reckless. Do not be hanging out with them because somebody might be trying to look for them and you might get caught in a crossfire.
Everybody, so I just feel like, why would you want to do that to Zack?
On June 9th, 2018, Warner's Field Gatling's Chapel on Chicago's South Side. The air inside was heavy, thick with sorrow and unanswered questions. Zachary Stoner had spent his life documenting Chicago's streets. Now, he was being laid to rest. The crowd was so large that there was barely room to stand. For nearly 3 hours, people spoke of the man who had fearlessly given underground voices a platform. Zack wasn't a traditional journalist. He didn't work for a newspaper or sit in a newsroom. Instead, his newsroom was the streets of Chicago, where he built his legacy as one of the first true street journalists surrounding drill culture. In 2010, he launched his YouTube channel, Zack TV 1. Zack TV helped shape the way the world saw Chicago's drill scene. Before record labels and journalists flocked to the city, Zack was already sitting down with future stars Chief Keef, Lil Durk, FBG Duck, giving some of their first real exposure.
You know, get shooting camera in Chicago, RIP Zack TV, you know, they...
RIP, I was about to mention that, RIP Zack TV.
Shit,
real good dude, man. Did you guys have a relationship?
Yeah, his dad did my first interview.
He did your first interview?
Yeah, he came to the hood, did it, late night.
Through his lens, the world got a first-hand look at the drill movement, straight from the source. But Zack's work wasn't without consequence. He was really in it, walking through neighborhoods where cameras weren't welcome, talking to people who lived by a different set of rules. His interviews sometimes featured artists throwing up gang signs, issuing threats, or speaking on street politics, things that could, and often did, have real-world consequences.
Like, that's cool, but he, like, even though you pass on a different situation where it still was connected to the streets. For them interviews, you got to do it like how Say Cheese be doing them. You got to be doing it across, like, you in a whole different state, bro. Like again, you don't have no street ties, so like going to these people's hoods to go do an interview with them, Again, it could have been that day, that moment. You were in this person's hood doing an interview. Their eye come through sliding, and you get hit because you just happen to be there. Like you can't, like you gotta be careful. Like if you don't live, you're not in the streets. You can't be hanging with people who are in the streets because you might get caught in their beef, and that's what happened. Supposedly, based on this story, your homie had ops. They just so happened to be in the same place that you brought him to, or that y'all was at. They came to slide on him. They thought he was still in your car, so they slid on that car. He just happened to be in the other one, or be just about he was about to be getting out, or however it played out. That's a sad situation, bro. You lost your life over somebody else's beef.
Consequences.
Zack was big on safety. If you know Zack, you will know that he big when it comes to being safe. When he first came to the Gardens, you know, that's all he did was heard about what was going on out there in the hood. Like, he never did an interview in the Garden. So he asked me more than 5 times, is I'm straight? Is I'm gonna be safe? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
he big on safety.
No, you're
Some
not.
called him reckless. Others called him a hero. But everyone knew one thing: Zack was fearless. Even when he received death threats, he kept going.
See?
In interviews, he admitted that he knew the risk.
Because you interviewing
He knew that by filming
giving them
certain
a spotlight.
people and covering certain stories, he was putting himself in danger. But he believed in his mission to tell the truth, no matter the cost.
I feel like he is legendary as hell. Cause like this, he pulling up to any environment. Like he ain't giving no, like he ain't got just a cool who wanted to put the city on. That's all he was.
But eventually, that cost would finally catch up with him. When Zachary, Zack TV Stoner, was hit, the impact rippled far beyond Chicago. Street journalists around the country took notice. For many, Zack's hit was a stark reminder of the risks they were taking every day.
Yeah, like that.
Sean Cotton, the creator of Say Cheese TV, knew Zack personally. He had always understood the danger of their work. But after Zack's passing, his perspective changed.
Talked about, because remember you had that pink Corvette.
Yeah.
They used to drive around, and you got rid of it after his murder.
Yeah, I got rid of that, man. I got rid of it.
Because everybody know
I
it.
stopped doing outside interviews too. You don't catch me really doing vlogs too. That's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Zack understood, as does Cotton.
See? I was just talking about him. Look, see? You showing your car, that's a driving public notification. You showed your car to 1 million people. And all the people who you don't know your car now. You just driving around. Hell no. And then for the interviews, it's cool to want to give the hood a spotlight, bro. It's cool. I understand it. Trust me, I grew up in the trenches. So giving somebody a spotlight that probably will never get one for themselves, and you're trying to get them a spotlight because they do music, that's, hey, commendable, my boy. Respect. But you gotta watch how you're doing and what you're allowing them to say in your videos, because they get to dissing somebody in your video and you posted it. Their op is going to see that and they're going to feel some type of way towards you because you posted it. You posted and gave their op 100,000 views and it dissing them. They're going to feel some type of way.
That some degree of danger makes more compelling videos, boosting viewership. With its homicide numbers and depth of hip-hop talent, Chicago was fertile ground for stories. But far from the lauding gangs, Stoner would encourage them to have unity. We hit one another for some stupid things. We gotta be smarter than that, y'all, he said in one video.
True.
But he was also empathetic. Zack wasn't in a gang, but was raised in gang territory and knew the culture well.
Sally.
His home was within Goontown territory, a neighborhood where the streets dictated the rules and survival often depended on knowing them. According to police, Goontown and the Perry Avenue crew were locked in a long-standing rivalry.
Because I was doing DVDs before Vlad TV, and you could look it up. There was guns on the camera. It was like, what if one of those just went off accidentally?
Right.
Both were factions of gangster disciples, but
Come on,
alliances
bro.
in Chicago's
That's what
gang
niggas don't
landscape
understand it, like.
didn't always extend beyond a few blocks. For years, the two groups exchanged threats, not just in the streets, but through rap videos, lyrics, and social media posts. Zack understood this world, but he never joined the gang. He stayed neutral, but in neighborhoods like his, even neutrality could be dangerous.
When we come to high school and talk to the kids, corporate was there, and Zack TV, for them, they was all there. I go there to motherfucking talk to the kids. Zack TV come there. I tell Zack, I might say, Zack, it's at a different level now. You need to start elevating your shit, bro. This you need to do, bro. Business-wise, you need to get one location, bro, and make us come there for an interview, bro, and expand your fucking brand, bro. I'm telling you, bro, just like all the majors can do.
That sounds cool, but you gotta, if you're gonna have that, I mean, yeah, that might sound better. And just make sure you have your things, them people scheduled. You don't want to book two people who are rivals on the same day. One leaving, one coming in. That's a bad moment. You don't want that. So yeah, all right, I can see that. Yeah, okay. But then again, that's still, especially if you're living in a place where, again, I ain't from Chicago, but from what you hear, they say it's super super reckless. So therefore, if people are knowing, hey, this is where this dude might have my op at, I'm gonna sit outside. Come on, see, even that. See, that's why you, man. This world just need to change, bro. This world need a restart for real.
His ass like, all right, you right. All right, you like, and then said he still pulling up on.
Zack told the Chicago Defender newspaper in early 2018 that the young black men he interviewed were stuck in this box. They wanted desperately to escape.
You trying to get them a way out.
Despite tough exteriors that are obligatory in their worlds. Some believe that Zack had gotten too big, that his growing influence, his rising wealth, and the power of his platform had created enemies he couldn't see coming. His friends urged him to leave Chicago, but they knew he never would.
Zack stayed strapped. He stayed strapped.
That don't mean nothing.
Me and him spoke a lot, and
that don't mean nothing. And sadly, in that case, he had it on him or with him. A lot of people pass away with it on him. You don't get a chance to use it because they got one up on you. They was looking for you, and you was on your P's and Q's, but you didn't see him. That's how a lot of people get caught.
He mentioned that a lot, that he was
always
prepared. He knew what he was getting into, but he was such a loving guy, and he didn't really stir up mess like that. Like,
that don't mean nothing.
That hurt me for a long time.
That's
Sean Cotton, who had also spoken with Zack about the dangers of their work, now received weekly death threats. One message after a controversial report read, "We're going to do you like we did Zack." After Zack TV's hit, rumors spread quickly in the streets. And soon, whispers started circulating. Had AMG Fresh and T Streets set Zack up? The theory was based on one simple fact. They survived, and he didn't. Some believe that AMG Fresh and T Streets had lured Zack into a trap, making sure he was vulnerable when the shooters arrived. They were in the car with him when the shooting started. They fled the scene. Zack was left behind. The accusations gained traction because of how they escaped. In surveillance footage, they could be seen jumping out of Zack's crashed Jeep and running to AMG Fresh's girlfriend's car before speeding off. To many, it looked suspicious. Why had they left Zack behind?
Like I said, that was shady as hell. But for them niggas, if they on parole, probation, that's probably why they left. Because even though you didn't cause, they probably gonna you didn't cause the situation, you didn't do nothing, to retaliate. But because you were in this situation, you're getting violated. Especially if you got a hole probation officer or parole officer, yeah, they're violating you. Any situation you can get to a scuffle, and you didn't even start it, you're getting violated. You get you just so happen, hey, wrong place, wrong time, you get shot, violate. That's what probation do, bruh. I've been on probation before, bruh. They do not care, bruh. They will
Did they
violate you
know
for
something
anything.
was coming? Or had they just panicked and done what anyone else would do?
I ain't gonna
Run
say
for their
anyone
lives.
else.
The cameras caught Zack in a flurry. According to these reports, Zack in the flurry is they see Zack in an altercation in the club. He get in an argument with people in the club, all kind of shit. Then he loses his life. The reason nobody knew, because everybody, it's strong with the shut your mouth. Chicago backdoor is hell. That's dangerous as hell. That irritates me to know that Zack helped everybody and nobody gonna stand up for Zack. I ain't saying go tell or.
The same day Zack was laid to rest, another man was hit. Thomas T. Streets Davis, one of Zack's closest associates, was gunned down. T. Streets had been there the night Zack was hit. He had been one of the passengers in Zack's SUV when the shots rang out on May 30th. But instead of staying at the scene, he ran.
They still
But
came.
others questioned it.
That's crazy.
Some believed it was connected, a warning, a message, or unfinished business. Others saw it as another tragic example of the reoccurring cycle in Chicago. But the timing was tough to ignore. Was T Street's hit connected to Zack's?
I think it's just like even though like for most people, it's already been too much bloodshed, bro. Like niggas gotta really look at what they're crashing out about, what you're throwing your life away for. You're throwing your life away for a community, for a hood you do not own. You don't own nothing in this hood, nothing. If the government owned all them buildings, all them apartments, bro. I lived in a lot of apartment buildings. The government down there own all of them, bro. So therefore, if the government came and said, "Hey, you know what? We finna come knock these down," what can you do about it? Nothing. Nothing. All that sliding you're not gonna do on them. You're not gonna do on them because they're gonna call in the army or something. And you're gonna be done. So it's like, I don't get the point. At this day and age, what is the point of gangs? What is the point? Niggas are dumb. Niggas are reckless. Niggas throwing their life away for nothing. You throw it for a hood you don't own, for a color and a word you don't own.
To AMG
Like
Bell
nobody
D,
owns nothing.
the rumors around Zack TV's passing were as false as they were dangerous. And as AMG Fresh's brother, he had a personal stake in setting the record straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zack TV was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why them was the only two artists he recorded that night. You know, he didn't care about who else was there. He was trying to build with them. He was so focused on the hundreds and the artists in the hundreds that he didn't even give a about a lot of artists. Like when it come to pushing their music, he was really they was a team. AMG Fresh, Zack TV, and T Streets.
In an interview, he dismissed the accusations outright, saying that Zack, AMG Fresh, and T Streets were a team. According to Bell D, the streets just wanted blood. After Zack's hit, people were looking for someone to blame, and AMG Fresh and T Streets became easy targets.
The streets way heavier than this rap shit, this internet shit that motherfuckers be doing. You know what I'm saying? That was street shit. Like, and when it come to street shit and you lose a motherfucker like Zack TV, ain't nobody from his hood really trying to hit shit.
By 2019, police had interviewed 5 individuals, all between the ages of 19 and 22, and all connected to the Perry Avenue gang. Surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, cell phone location data, and ballistics evidence placed them at the scene. leading to their arrest. For many who had followed Zack's work and the details of his hit, it seemed like the case was finally on the verge of being solved. The suspects had been taken in, and it was only a matter of time before they faced justice. But that moment never came. Despite the arrest, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office refused to press charges.
No evidence.
The decision was based on what they call a mutual combatants situation.
What?
A legal principle arguing that if both parties willingly engaged in street conflict, it may not be considered a straightforward homicide.
It was people charged with Zack's death, but they let him go. They said this was mutual combat.
The prosecutors suggested that Zack's hit could have been part of an ongoing street conflict. What?
Where the hell? I wasn't saying where the hell they do that at, but obviously they do it in Chicago. That's why niggas is still crashing out, because you're not going to go to jail for I killed the op. Yeah, so well, yeah, I got him. Yeah, it was mutual. He's the op, I'm the op, so we got it. Hey, it is what it is. All right, yeah, good. What? That's crazy. I ain't never heard of nothing like that. I've never heard of that. Mutual combat, it is, but you're basically saying we don't care about y'all gangbangers, so go ahead and kill each other. That's basically what you said. That's why. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's what again I said it. I said plenty of times, but there needs to be a like, you know how we got the United Nations? They need to be like human right people. Like, forget their nations. Do it for the world. Do it for the world and human beings in general. Go and stop this, because this is crazy.
Where all sides had played a role. But did that mean that no gang
It's like they're tired of arresting people. They're tired of like, that's crazy, bro. Like, they're tired of arresting people. They're thinking in their mind, maybe one day these gangs, they'll just wipe each other out. No, people are being born every day, bro. People are being born every day, especially when you're being born inside of a project. Oh, you a new tenant? Oh, he's from the hood. Oh, you're a new tenant? Oh, she's from the hood. No, people are being added on every single day, bro. You gotta. That's crazy.
retaliated shooting could ever be prosecuted? Because you didn't know who shot first? For Chicago police, the case was effectively closed. The investigation had produced suspects, but without the backing of the state's attorney, there would be no trial, no conviction, and no justice for Zack TV.
That's crazy.
Officially, his hit remains unsolved. Zack TV was a highly respected and beloved member of the Chicago community. He will be missed. Rest in peace, Zack TV.
That's crazy, bro. Condolences to him, bro. That's wild. Nigga said, "Nah, we ain't prosecuting that." That's crazy.